So it's gonna be Eve. Okay.
I
So
see.
very risky for me for DLSU with their lineup and composition, having the Jawhead as their roamer, or probably they can also change it to Hylos as a roamer. We may not know yet. So Sanchez using this Eve for quite some time. Eve has not been used recently on our games kasi nga matagal na yung cooldown ng mga skills niya. But again, the damage itself, you can't deny talagang masakit talaga ang isang Eve.
Probably the entire concept behind this, I mean, yes, it isn't the typical, you would combine a burst mage with the setups that the Jawhead would provide kind of setup here from De La Salle University, but at the same time, you could at least set a distance, or you could set yourself apart from those heroes that will definitely just try to look for you during the team fights, kasi that's the specialty naman of the Eve. It's the positioning talaga, it's the real world manipulation, and now they're able to do just that if all things align when it comes to the team fight. But so far, nothing's happening yet, and we're just seeing a very patient and disciplined early game from both of these teams.
So far, yeah, they're just testing each other's capability when it comes to damage, and even the Jawhead right now. Ito yung isa sa mga mahirap talaga sa Jawhead, especially if this Jawhead will just roam around. He will just easily use the ejector that time to provide them space. The Earth Shatter somehow will displace the position and stop the momentum coming from the DLSU. And of course, Pakulan will just get back to regen some life.
This is really great aggression coming in from Godoy of De La Salle University. Agad-agad, ejector play. Nakita naman natin. Give it to Tating. And if ever Tating did get that kill, that would just probably imply the higher likelihood of an immediate snowball na magmumula sa De La Salle University. And Rogers na nagsusnowball, alam naman natin kung gaano natin kinatatakutan ang mga yan. Kasi hindi na natatakot yan. Like and bounce, transform, in, out. That's all he's gonna do all day, all game. And now, even Pakulan, parang nahihirapan na nga siyang pumosisyon. How are you going to check the brushes? Dahil ikaw at ikaw ang pwedeng setapan.
Easy na naman. Here comes the like and bounce that time. That's the usual combo that we are seeing. It's like reminiscing the meta from the 2021. The ejector, flicker, and then burst immediately by Tating that time. Tating secures the first blood, and in addition to that, that's going to be a turtle secured for Veritas Arcus Esports.
And they're really managing this early game well. Even for the Explained, wala pa sila masyadong problema, and they can immediately invade. Girez on the Lancelot. Makukuha ba niya? He got the retribution onto that orange buff, and Godoy will be punished instead. Pero at dyan din naman ang respo ng Hylos na talagang sumusugod.
Easy takedown again, and that's going to be Blast again. Trying to see if Chua will be able to escape. No more. And Tating this time, of course, with a like and pounce to clean it up. Another one, law and order to stop Bangsal that time, but Bangsal will still be able to escape against the members of Veritas Arcus.
I can't believe Ong survives to this point. He engaged in that team fight without much HP. He went out of that team fight with no mana and all the more low HP. But he's still alive, and that's the essence, or that's the essence, and that's what we see or expect from the Hylos. That's what he'll be doing buong laro.
Yeah, from time to time, that's gonna be it. And what's good about the Hylos is, hindi talaga siya mana dependent, diba? So even though he doesn't have any mana yet, he will just consume his remaining HP. Another ejector that time coming from Godoy. But of course, the Torn Rose will just avoid the upcoming damage output coming from Veritas Arcus, maintaining the composure again for NU Bulldogs. So this is going to be the same routine, a never-ending cycle if the NU Bulldogs won't find a loophole on the strategy.
Not even Blast could check the bushes anymore. There's always a threat of a sudden ejector play or unstoppable force combo coming in from Godoy, and now we're seeing the struggle for NU Bulldogs. They're yet to get the necessary trades up against De La Salle University, but now there seems to be another plan for De La Salle. They're looking out for Martin, but thankfully, Pakulan will be there as well to just provide the necessary assistance.
Tama. And here's another thing for NU Bulldogs. They need to watch out Sanchez. Because Sanchez is having a time of his life. He has all the space in the world to get some gold and to prepare for the upcoming engagement again. Here comes the Blazing Duet na makulit at masakit na naman. Earth Shatter again to stop the momentum. But here comes the Zaman Force and the Chrono Dash. But that won't be enough to survive and give a hesitation to the members of Veritas Arcus to stop the fight. and they will just continue and push through to at least get this first turret on the top lane.
We already called it. You couldn't position yourself either if you were Pakulan or if you were Blast. And now Pakulan, the one we just mentioned, will be the next to fall. As De La Salle University, they're very eager to convert that kill and take this first tier top lane turret up against the NU Bulldogs. What a performance coming in from De La Salle University. They're very straightforward in their approaches. They're very dedicated and committed to what they're attempting to do.
Exactly, that's what we're talking about with their lineup, especially for NU Bulldogs. This is the problem where when you have a lineup of this kind, more on linear magic damage na talagang ginagawa na dito. So we're not expecting any DPS yet from NU Bulldogs, and all of their heroes are scaling and waiting for their items to be available for them to be effective and to somehow answer back against Viridus Arcus. While Viridus Arcus, they're just doing whatever they have on their blueprint. Tuloy-tuloy lang ang ginagawa na dito to make sure that they will just capitalize it, and they will just make sure also that the network ay papabain ng sobra.
And the real manipulation is there as well, together with the unstoppable force. Martin won't make it out alive. At yun naman, dito sa bandang ibaba, tulak lang. Torre lang ang gustong kuhain ni Sanchez. Pero there comes another Lantern Flare onto the most tanky, or the tankiest hero of Viridus Arcus Esports, which is why they remain to survive, and they will be able to re-engage once again. Tatakbo na sila muna papalayo because both parties, grabe na dito yung mga nagkakapalitang pokes.
Grabe yung ginawa dito ng Viridus Arcus Esports. If babalikan natin kanina yon, NU Bulldogs actually has the perfect space and position para maubos nila yung Viridus Arcus. But Viridus Arcus, they are well synchronized, especially every time that NU Bulldogs is planning to counter-initiate them. What Tating did earlier is he provided the distraction that he will somehow fight back against the NU Bulldogs. That's why the other members of Viridus Arcus was able to get back immediately also and get another position for them to be comfortable. And now they are the ones also who secured the turtle.
This is a hard and a very difficult situation to bounce back if you are NU Bulldogs. Look at the late game potential of their lineup. They're holding on to the Harriet, they're holding on to Martin, but Viridus Arcus Esports, there are no hesitations whatsoever coming in from this team. There's another like bounce coming from Tating, and there is the punish onto Godoy. But will Viridus Arcus Esports still pursue this team fight? The Lantern Flare's already used as well, and there comes the slow ramping up of the damage of NU Bulldogs, and Martin might be able to get the shutdown onto Tating, and Ong, he will be the only one left, but he still takes down two along with him.
Ong again with a continuous damage from his silos. That's supposed to be for an NU Bulldogs highlights already to somehow get back against Viridus Arcus. But what happened is the continuous damage again coming from Hylos is what stopped the momentum from NU Bulldogs to get by getting back against Viridus Arcus. Now the big problem is Sanchez has an item. All the items that he needs right now is already on his arsenal. So this is something again for NU Bulldogs na kailangan nilang ingatan. Viridus Arcus, one blazing duet, one glorious pathway, and the like and pounds coming from Tating. That's more than enough to displace the members of NU Bulldogs.
And honestly, I also feel na gusto ng NU Bulldogs na nagkakasama-sama na sila. Unlike kanina na of course, let's say their XP laner, Bangsal, wasn't together with them each and every time Viridus Arcus Esports wanted to look for an engage. But now that he's also present, pwedeng siya yung lumalim ng onte, magbabalibag, he can easily bounce away and actually rejoin or regroup with his teammates. Kaya naman we're seeing for the first time NU Bulldogs, sila naman yung aangat, sila naman yung maghanap ng trade, pero onto the bottom lane, Jerez, he will be able to survive and defend that second tier turret as well.
Grabe, no? This is a nightmare for a Lancelot ni Geras dito. A Lancelot is supposed to be the one who's going to dominate the early stages of the game. Pero dahil nga dun sa pinapakita ni Godoy and ni Tating from time to time from the start of the game, it was really a big problem for Geras to easily and comfortably roam around the map and use the Phantom Execution and even the Torn Rose to just get somebody or get some casualties against Viridus Arcus. So now, glorious pathway, back at it again. Here comes another ejection, and also another player coming from Bangsal, or I mean Blast that time. So they're still alive. Proper position again, back with Viridus Arcus.
And the Crimson Beacon was forced out easily, so they have little to no mobility spells to use to disengage. And now Viridus Arcus Esports, they're going all in. They're finally deciding to take on this team fight. Tating secures the Lord objective as well as NU Bulldogs. They're forced to run away.
Grabe, no? Even the Cyclone Eye helped Sanchez that time to gain another position and to maximize the blazing duet para mabigay lahat sa mga members ng NU Bulldogs. Now the Lord is available and marching towards the bottom lane. Their next target right now is to take down the turret on the middle. And Bangsal right now can't do anything about it and just stand and wait for the members of Viridis Arcus to take it down, as BMI will be used as well by Sanchez to escape against NU Bulldogs.
And Viridis Arcus Esports together with this Lord will definitely be taking out as much outer turrets as possible. Lucky for them if they're also able to take down inhibitor turrets. And looking at the potential defense here of NU Bulldogs, their wave clear potential, it's kind of tricky to pull off. They have, I'd say, at least Blas and Martin to do that. Of course, Pakulan, if he ever does decide to use Primal Rat, but that could be a crucial skill as well at this point in time that you would want to reserve when you have a clear chance of taking the advantage when it comes to the team fight. But will Viridis Arcus Esports wait for that opportunity, because they once again use the glorious pathway, and that's already a huge threat in itself whenever NU Bulldogs sees that pathway laid down.
Yeah, and knowing that the First Lord was just used to actually force the shockwaves on all the inner turrets from NU Bulldogs, that shows that there's a huge differential when it comes to network and the power spike between two teams. If we're gonna take a look, it is an 8K gold lead for Viridis Arcus compared to NU Bulldogs, knowing that it's just 11 minutes of this game. So again, NU Bulldogs needs to do something about it. If you're not if you're not comfortable to fight toe-to-toe against the members of Viridis Arcus, might as well get us used or maximize his mobility. But here comes another ejector to eject out, but the Vengeance will somehow help him escape. But here comes another Blazing Duet to take down Bangsal that time. So Martin will follow too. So that's gonna be 2 against the NU Bulldogs. Another casualty. That's gonna be a blast to be blasted out. And another pause will be called on this game.
There's so much problems NU Bulldogs has to think about in their attempt to prolong and actually create a turnaround for this game, for this current situation. As you've mentioned, the current 8K gold lead, which after that clash probably now rose to 10 or I'd say 9 to be safe. And it's a huge problem. They literally get caught most of the time. It's always the ejector plays. Whether it succeeds or not, there's a follow-up glorious pathway as well. So there are no reasons for, or there's nothing na kinakailangang isipin ngayon ng DLSU when it comes to actually maging hesitant ba tayo or talagang sugod lang ba tayo ng sugod. Kasi even those kinds of decisions, I believe they're called out very well ng kanilang kung sino man ang nagko-call ngayon sa kanilang team. It could also be a combined effort, especially between yung dalawang taga-front, taga-set nila. I'd say si Godoy and si Ong, di ba?
Tama. Well, I think what's missing for NU Bulldogs here is with the kind of lineup that they have right now, is yung magsaset talaga sa kanila. An AOE crowd control for them to maximize the damage that they're planning to give out against the members of DLSU Viridis Arcus. So they have the Harriet to use the Zaman Force and Chrono Dash and Synchro Fission. They also have the Lancelot to easily dash around using the Torn Rose, the Phantom Execution, and even the Puncture to easily dance against the bodies of NU Bulldogs members. And also, they have the Shushin as well to maximize the flare. What's missing is their crowd control. So we haven't seen any crowd control. The only crowd control I guess that they have right now is just the Edit, which has the Earth Shatter. At yun lang yung kanilang aasahan dito. It's more of a single target hero for the crowd control, but they're
struggling.
Yeah, they're struggling talaga sobra kasi wala silang AOE crowd control to provide space for the Harriet for them to maximize his damage capability. So, ngayon, tuloy-tuloy from time to time. That's why the Ejector and even the Unstoppable Force is just really unstoppable, literally, against NU Bulldogs.
Now that makes me think the real-world manipulation might have suited NU Bulldogs at this point, since they will be at least able to establish an area where Martin wouldn't have to worry as much of the other potential engages that or attempts that Viridis Arcus might be doing up against them. But there comes another engage. Bangsal will be the first to fall for NU Bulldogs as Viridis Arcus Esports also takes down the first inhibitor turret up against the Bulldogs.
Look how clean they execute the mission earlier. They just went straight to Pakulan after the glorious pathway, but their main goal is to take down the turret on the middle lane.
Yep.
At tuloy-tuloy lang, that's the communication that we're looking for, and we are seeing it right now for Veritas Arcus Esports. So if they want to execute something, they will just do it. If they can do it, they might just go with their original plan. That's the blueprint that they're planning, that they're actually following from time to time.
And we're seeing the perfect balance of aggression and discipline from this team as well. They're not forcing anything apart from that inhibitor turret that they previously took down, and they immediately just focused on taking the Lord objective. They're doing it step by step.
Yeah.
As you've mentioned it, the blueprint. And it's somewhat by the book, but it works well for them since the fundamentals, it's all there. This team is really a team you have to watch out for. And even for NU Bulldogs, initially we've seen the respect. They took out almost all the signature heroes we know from Veritas Arcus Esports, but we're seeing just how improved their hero pool currently is as well coming into this tournament, and this might just be a very difficult defense for the Bulldogs.
This is going to be a big adjustment on the game number 2 for NU Bulldogs if Veritas Arcus will be able to secure this win right now using this Lord, which marches down onto the middle lane. Goroy right now looking forward, Phantom Execution coming from Garrus that time. But look at the damage from the Void Crystal, and even the basic attacks coming from Sanchez that time. So it's really a big problem as the Lord right now goes directly for the base. Unstoppable Force, here comes the Blazing Duet. Again with the Light and Bounce to clean it up. And Martin together with the gang will fall down as Veritas Arcus Esports will secure the game number 1.
A flawless end to the first game of this tournament. And they just did it so seamlessly. I think that was a less than 12-minute game, or if not an exactly 12-minute game that we've witnessed.
Using the second Lord, actually using the first Lord earlier, they were able to penetrate the Shockwave's capability of the or Shockwave's ability of the inner turrets from, or the base turrets from the NU Bulldogs. But with that being said, talagang malayo na yung difference nila when it comes to network and even the items that the Veritas Arcus have on their arsenal. So talagang they just maximize what their heroes are capable of, and they just utilize, especially this Jawhead is the one who really changed the tempo of this game. He really started everything from just 1 minute and 30 seconds of the game. They were able to take down a member from NU Bulldogs, and that started out immediately, and it snowballed immediately at hindi na nagkaroon ng proper and comfortable space yung mga members ng NU Bulldogs.
Yeah, honestly, it was total denial din sa idea ng draft kanina ng NU Bulldogs. They were very dependent on finding the right positions, looking for the parang brushes that they can actually parang plan out what they want to do for the next few minutes of the game. Kasi palaging nakikita natin, may ilang. So that's already one major problem that they have to take into consideration. How are they going to position themselves? Where are they supposed to go in this situation na malagi at palaging baka may nakabang, baka biglang may manghagis